it's just interesting to see how the business has changed, and it's a much smarter business now. And I mentioned this earlier. Those new TV deals being cut of like the $2 billion, like, oh my gosh, like the entire landscape has changed now.
Yep.
The days of going to Rochester and opening up your check to see if you made $500 or $1,000. I mean, that might that might continue on because those guys are going to let it that work there. I'm not going to let that be that way. $2 billion? Are you kidding me?
That's right.
It's a whole different world now, man.
Yeah.
So I think, with New Japan kind of having the kind of the upswing that they're having, I'm not going to say that the boys are going to get paid the way that basketball players or football players or hockey players get paid, but it's going to change to more of that. It has to, because there's only a certain amount of guys that are over and mean something, and there's so much money at play now. This is the test. The famous wrestlers union. Listen, there's never going to be a union.
Right.
But there is a chance to change the way that the business has been done for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Just by the fact that TV deal was signed.
I was thinking about you brought up union and how there's never going to be one, and you're right, Chris. But the closest thing I remember there being to one was when Barry Bloom came along, and next thing you know, he's representing a bunch of us and negotiating these big. That was some serious leverage for the boys, for the talent.
It was.
Yeah,
and it was frowned upon by Eric and Vince.
Yeah, but
that's a little. You guys have heard the name Barry Bloom. Barry was the first agent in wrestling, basically, that was brought in by Jesse Ventura when he did Predator to make the deal with Vince to get out of his deal or whatever he had to do to make that movie. So Barry's been around for 30 odd years dealing with the WWE and dealing with Vince. So once again, you have that little bit of leverage. And listen, man. This isn't 1965 Carney anymore.
That's
this is a big-time billion-dollar business, but it hasn't ever caught up financially the way that all other forms of entertainment have. So a lot of that is on the boys because the boys don't want to rock the ship. Or if one guy said, "I'm not doing the match unless there's a union," some other guy would come up behind and go, "I'll do it."
Yep.
It's just always how it's been. Now there's a chance for it to change. If certain guys that can make those changes, exert their influence to do that. So it's very interesting to me to be in this business now, coming up on my 28th year. I'm 47 years old, still feel great, performing great. Like I said, maybe with a name value more than I've ever had as a free agent. Like, who knows, man? This could be like the biggest money ever if it works out the way that it can.
Oh, for sure.
Well, Chris, speaking of how the landscape of wrestling is changing, I want to know, what are your thoughts?